Have you ever spoken with someone then realized that he has no idea of what you were talking about? Or have you tried getting information from someone she doesn't have? Or imagine trying to explain a concept to an audience then failed because they don't even speak the language you are using to begin with. Hello everyone, my name is Teacher Jerome and today we'll learn about audience analysis. At the end of this lesson, you are expected to create a sample audience analysis checklist and explain why the information in the identified categories are necessary before writing a speech. In this lesson, you need to have a sheet of paper for your answers and the activities. Before we begin, you are going to watch and listen to short conversations. Write yes if the speakers know their audience or listeners well. Otherwise, write no. When you see a lot of people wearing face masks, that doesn't mean that they have COVID-19. What is a COVID-19? COVID-19 is an infectious disease caused by a newly discovered coronavirus. What is a coronavirus? A coronavirus is a common virus that causes an infection in your nose, sinuses, or upper throat. Oh, okay, but what is a virus? First, you have to wet your hands with clean running water. Make sure the water isn't too hot. Use soap and lather up for about 20 seconds. Make sure you get in between your fingers, on the backs of hands, and under the nails where germs like to hang out. And don't forget the wrists. Rinse and dry well with a clean towel. Itakoto wakarimasen? Hey Jen, are you done with the papers I handed to you yesterday? Yes, Mr. James. I put them on your desk. As soon as humans created machines, they attempted to make perpetual motion machines that work on their own and that work forever. However, the devices never have and likely never will work. That's right, perpetual motion is impossible because of what we know about the geometry of the universe. Exactly! Nature provides no examples of perpetual motion above the atomic level. Okay, listen up. For us to achieve our goals, the male should stay on the left and females on the right.
But sir, there are no males.
So why do you think it is important to know the audience before writing a speech? In analyzing your audience, what do you think is the proper way? Audience analysis involves identifying the audience and adapting a speech to their interests, level of understanding, attitudes, and beliefs. Taking an audience-centered approach is important because a speaker's effectiveness will be improved if the presentation is created and delivered in an appropriate manner. So here are the audience analysis factors. First, we have audience expectations. When people become audience members in a speech situation, they bring with them expectations about the occasion, topic, and speaker. Violating audience expectations can have a negative impact on the effectiveness of the speech. Imagine that a local politician is asked to speak at the memorial service for a beloved former mayor. The audience will expect the politician's speech to praise the life and career of the deceased. If the politician used the opportunity to discuss a piece of legislation, the audience would probably be offended and the speaker would lose credibility. Knowledge of topic. Audience knowledge of a topic can vary widely on any given occasion. Therefore, communicators should find out what their audience already know about the topic. Never overestimate the audience's knowledge of a topic. If a speaker launches into a technical discussion of genetic engineering but the listeners are not familiar with basic genetics, they will be unable to follow your speech and quickly lose interest. On the other hand, drastically underestimating the audience's knowledge may result in a speech that sounds condescending. Try to do some research to find out what the audience already know about the topic. Giving a brief review of important terms and concepts is almost always appropriate and can sometimes be done by acknowledging the heterogeneous audience and the importance of putting everyone on the same page. For example, even if the audience members were familiar with basic genetics, a brief review of a key term and concepts at the beginning of a speech refreshes memories without being patronizing. Attitude toward topic. Knowing audience members' attitudes about a topic will help a speaker determine the best way to reach their goals. Imagine that a presenter is trying to convince the community to build a park. A speaker would probably be inclined to spend the majority of the speech giving reasons why a park would benefit the community. However, if they found out ahead of time that most neighbors thought that park was a good idea, but they were worried about safety issues, then the speaker could devote their time to showing them that the park users would be safer in the park than they currently are playing in the streets. The persuasive power of the speech is thus directed at the most important impediment to the building of a park. Audience size. Many elements of speech making change in accordance with audience size. In general, the larger the audience, the more formal the presentation should be. Sitting down and using common language when speaking to a group of 10 people is often quite appropriate. However, that style of presentation would probably be inappropriate or ineffective if you were speaking to 1,000 people. Large audiences often require that you use a microphone and speak from an elevated platform. Demographics. The demographic factors of an audience include age, gender, religion, ethnic background, class, sexual orientation, occupation, education, group membership, and countless other categories. Since these categories often organize individuals' identities and experiences, a wise speaker attends to them. Politicians usually pay a great deal of attention to demographic factors when they are on a campaign trail. If a politician speaks in a place with a large elderly population, they will likely discuss the issues that are more relevant to people in that age range: Medicare and Social Security. Communicators must be careful about stereotyping an audience based on demographic information. Individuals are always more complicated than a simplistic identity category. Also, be careful not to pander exclusively to interests based on demographics. Say, for example, the elderly certainly are concerned with political issues beyond Social Security and Medicare. Using demographic factors to guide speech making does not mean changing the goal of the speech for every different audience. Rather, consider what pieces of information or types of evidence will be most important for members of different demographic groups. And lastly, settings. The setting of a presentation can influence the ability to give a speech and the audience's ability and desire to listen. Some of these factors are the setup of the room, both size and how the audience is arranged, time of day, temperature, external noises such as lawn mowers or traffic, internal noises such as babies crying, hacking coughs, and type of space such as church, schoolroom, or outside. Finding out ahead of time the different factors going into the setting will allow a speaker to adapt their speech appropriately. Will there be a stage? Will there be a podium or lectern? What technology aids will be available? How are the seats arranged? What is the order of speakers? While these issues may appear minor compared to the content of the speech and the makeup of the audience, this foreknowledge will soothe nerves, assist in developing eye contact, and ensure that the appropriate technology, if necessary, is available. Take into account the way that the setting will affect audience attention and participation. People are usually tired after a meal and late in the day. If scheduled to speak at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, a speaker may have to make the speech more entertaining through animation or humor, exhibit more enthusiasm, or otherwise involve the audience in order to keep their attention. So again, different factors in analyzing the audience are audience expectations, knowledge of topic, attitude toward topic, audience size, demographics, and settings. This is an example of an audience analysis checklist. Be reminded that the categories in the checklist and the information that you are looking for will depend on your purpose, so you can add as many categories as you want if necessary. Also, if you try to search it online, you can see different kinds of template with varying categories. Though they have different content, they share the same goal, which is to know the audience. Very well, let's have another activity. You will be given with different audience information, and what you will do is to identify the categories where they belong. Write only the letter of the correct answer. You will be given 5 minutes to complete the task. Time starts now. Time's up. I hope you did well. So today we have learned that audience analysis entails looking into the profile of your target audience. This is done so you can tailor fit your speech, content, and delivery to the audience. For your assessment, you are going to create a sample audience analysis checklist in your community. Prior to doing this, be informed with the following guideline. Number 1. To avoid going out and to ensure safety from the pandemic, only limit the audience to the people you know. Therefore, the number of audience can be equal to the number of people you know. Number 2. Estimation or educated guess of some information is allowed. This is also because of the safety protocols. Number 3. Add a third column for your explanation on why the information is needed for your speech. And number 4, be guided by the following rubric. You will get a maximum point of 5 for the categories you made. You will get another maximum point of 5 for the information provided in each category. 10 points if you have thorough explanation of why the information is needed for your speech. And the total highest possible score for this assessment is 20 points. After finishing the assessment, make sure to read about logical organization in effective speech writing in preparation for our next lesson. If you have any questions, do not hesitate to contact me on my cell or on Facebook. Goodbye.